We're here in Pasadena, California at the Rose Bowl. We're here in the parking lots, and this area is definitely not a stranger to high traffic, but this is where the command post is for the Eaton Fire that's currently here in the Altadena, Pasadena area of Los Angeles County. We currently have today just over 3,200 personnel assigned to this fire, and that's personnel, but also equipment. We have engines, water tenders, aircraft, all types of pieces of equipment and apparatus that are assigned to the incident. Both fire, law enforcement, contractors, and civilian. So we have representation from agencies all over California, all over the nation. There's hundreds of different patches that you see walking by. That's the beauty of California's mass mutual aid system. We're a fine-tuned machine when it comes to assisting each other with large-scale wildfires here in California.
We know that the Eaton Fire and fires throughout Los Angeles County have devastated families, children, and neighborhoods. Thanks to the Board of Supervisors, the chair of the board, Supervisor Barker, and the county family, LA County Parks is opening care camps at 4 park locations: Arcadia Park, Pamela Park, Crescenta Valley Park, and here at the beautiful LA County Arboretum. LA County Parks is ready to serve 500 youth by providing enriching, safe, and caring places for our youth. And here to share more about our care camps is Richard Smart, who is leading our care camp at the Arboretum.
Howdy everyone. We are excited working with some amazing park staff to create a fun, welcoming, and safe space and experience for youth at our care camps. We're going to have field trips, hands-on activities, free play, quiet spaces, active spaces, so much fun. We also are going to provide meals, and the Department of Mental Health will be on site to offer their services as well.
We want to make sure that youth and teens during this devastating time are okay, and want to also support the families. LA County Parks is ready to serve 500 youth at one of our camps, and it's all free. We welcome our youth, and we will not turn away any of our youth from one of our camps.
So today what we have is a local assistance center, but even more importantly, it's a disaster recovery center that FEMA has brought resources to assist victims from disasters. You can register with FEMA out in the front and follow up with the assistance that you might need. But once you come into this room, we have all the county agencies and all the state agencies that can help you access the services that you need.
I have personnel here to help property owners whose property was damaged or destroyed by the fires. Under California law, if your property was damaged or destroyed, you're entitled to property tax relief.
When you come in and you talk to each of our agencies, you find out that there's the ways that we can help you. Can't make the whole picture whole, but we can at least put puzzle pieces together, and so you're on the pathway to recovery.
My family, we lost our home in the fire. It's been very devastating. Here at Pasadena City College, they have a lot of great resources, more of a one-stop shop.
But in the long term, we also want to make sure that we meet the needs of residents who are displaced or who might need a little bit more special service that the county government or the state government and the federal government can't really provide. So it becomes a more intimate relationship with the nonprofits and people who have lost as they try to get back on their feet and try to get back to a normal way of life.
One of the things I particularly want to emphasize right now is that scammers and profiteers are already at work. Do not pay for anything, for any government service. There's nothing that these people can do to help you with your application more than you can get directly from us.
When you're ready, we're here to provide the resources that you need to start your pathway to recovery.
Thank you, county officials, for doing that.
My name's Darren Wyatt. First name spelled D-A-R-O-N. Wyatt is W-Y-A-T-T, and I'm one of the public information officers under the Unified Command at the Eaton incident. Behind me, representing the Unified Command, we have Chief Eugene Harris of the Pasadena Police Department, the Acting Director of Pasadena Public Health, Manuel Carmona, Chief Chad Augustine of the Pasadena Fire Department, Captain Sean Kehoe of the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department, Chief Jonathan Cox from CAL FIRE, Chief Dustin Mueller from California Team 5, and Deputy Chief Eleni Pappas from the Los Angeles County Fire Department. Today we're going to address this upcoming wind event with the particularly dangerous situation which has been forecast. Our speaker is going to start out with James White from the National Weather Service, who's our incident meteorologist for the incident. Then we'll have Dennis Burns, who is the fire behavior analyst, followed by Katie Shashiri, who is our air resource advisor. Then it will be Deputy Chief Al Yanagasawa from the Los Angeles County Fire Department. And closing out will be Chief Robert Garcia, Fire Chief of the Angeles National Forest. We're going to ask you to please hold all of your questions until the end, and then we will address the questions there. As this incident stands now, our acreage is at 14,021 acres. That actually went down by about 95 acres as we got better flights and sites over the incident. Our containment is up to 87%, and that's due to the hard work of the firefighters who have been out there for the last week. I want to advise everybody and remind the public that we are in a set position in the ready, set, go lineup. That means you should be prepared to leave immediately. It's not the time to start thinking about it. You need to be prepared. I also want to remind people that they need to sign up for the emergency alerts, and there's a number of resources that they can use to do that. I'll give you some websites. The first one is fire.lacounty.gov, ready.lacounty.gov, and then to sign up, you can sign up on any of these to get the emergency alerts, but also alert.lacounty.gov. For anyone who is elderly or mobility impaired and will need extra time, you need to make arrangements in advance. Talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends, talk to your family. You can also go to ad.lacounty.gov for additional resources there. Also on there, you'll be able to look up your zones, and so that you know your zone and where you stand in the evacuation warnings and our orders. We've repopulated much of the south end of the Eaton Fire, and the fire behavioral analyst will talk about what we're expecting coming with this wind event. With that, I'd like to turn it over to James White.
Good morning, everyone. My name is James White, and I'm the incident meteorologist for the Eaton Fire. It is my job here to provide localized weather information to both ensure firefighter and public safety and also to help in planning for the incident. So today, as you already heard mentioned, is a particularly dangerous situation, and that term is used by the National Weather Service when conditions are truly exceptional or dangerous. This is already the third particularly dangerous red flag warning that has been issued in the month of January, which is unprecedented for this area. The other two events that occurred, one happened on January 7th, which is the event that started this fire, and then there was the event on January 13th, which thankfully wasn't as strong as what it could have been. This event today is going to fall between those two. It's not going to be as long or as severe as January 7th, but there is strong indications that it will be stronger and more widespread than what happened on January 13th. What we're expecting today is two main concerns. One is that it is going to get dry very, very quickly. Don't let the conditions down here fool you. You know, right now the moisture is around 80 to 90%, but up on the ridge tops, just 1,000 feet, you're already at 20%. We're expecting it to dry out very, very quickly today. By noon, the relative humidity could be below 20%, and it will continue to drop through the afternoon and evening, getting perhaps below 10%. Along with that, those dry conditions, the second thing we're expecting is strong northeast winds. So as those winds build in, the highest potential for them to build in will be between around noon today and 2200 or 10 p.m. tonight. Those winds are going to build from the northeast, and at those high ridge tops is where they'll be the most consistent. There we could see gusts of 70 to 80 miles an hour. You go high in the San Gabriel Mountains, it could be even higher than that. At lower elevations, the winds are going to be more inconsistent, which is typical for Santa Ana winds around here. So you can expect those gusts to maybe be around 40 miles an hour where they're able to mix down. Now, to mix down, they require something that we call mountain waves, and that makes the winds very inconsistent and sporadic. So the winds could go from nothing, from calm, to 40 miles an hour very quickly, and then calm down again. And it kind of goes like that in a pattern, on and off, on and off. So that's one of the main concerns today, is as we watch that behavior to see what gusts mix down here to lower elevations. It's important to note that this event is not just for the Eaton Fire. In fact, we're actually in a more protected area here than a lot of other areas in Southern California. There are areas where the Santa Ana winds are more consistent and where they're stronger. And the possibility of very strong winds and extremely dry conditions today extends anywhere from Ventura County south to San Diego. So this is going to be a widespread event that might affect more than just this area. The good news is that unlike January 7th, where those winds continued for a very long period of time, the period of time for these winds is pretty short. The time when we have a potential for those strongest winds to mix down is only about 8 hours or so. So that's the good news. Unfortunately, it's going to be even drier than it was during that event, and the dry weather is going to continue. So although our winds will really start to calm down by late tonight through early tomorrow morning, those very, very dry conditions are going to continue and actually intensify Wednesday and Thursday. And we will maintain some gusty northeast winds at the high elevations. It just won't be as strong lower down or as strong as it will be today. So those are our main concerns. The main ask is just be extra careful, be prepared today should something happen with those conditions, and be extra careful not to of any ignitions, sparks, anything like that during these dangerous conditions.
Good morning, Dennis Burns, Fire Behavior Analyst for the Incident Management Team. You just heard James's forecast, and what's that mean for our potential fire behavior? First off, for the Eaton Fire, we're pretty confident that it's going to remain in its footprint, and that's mainly due to all the hard work that our firefighters have been doing. We will see the effects of this wind. However, the material that is still smoldering out there is pretty well interior, and we don't feel it's any threat to our line. However, in anticipation of this event and the potential that our troops may need to be reassigned somewhere else, we have briefed them. Some of the conditions that we're looking at for today, and as James mentioned, it's not just in our specific area, but extends all the way out to the Ventura coast, is depending on the fuel type, we're looking at rates of spread of the fire anywhere from 1 to 4 miles per hour. The spotting distances up to 2 miles, and that's just in our fuels. If a fire were to ignite and get into structures, that spotting distance would probably increase to close to 4 miles. So if you do the math, an 8-hour event at 4 miles per hour, the fire has that potential to spread up to 32 miles. The other part that factors into this is with those strong winds, aircraft may not be able to be used on the incident. Once those winds get up beyond 30, 40 miles an hour, that very, very much limits what the aircraft can do. So, it's kind of a dire prediction. Hopefully nothing does occur today, but as far as the Eaton Fire goes, I think we're looking very good for this incident.
Good morning. Katie Sashery, Air Resource Advisor here for the Eaton Fire. Air Resource Advisors are responsible for conveying the PM 2.5 wildfire-related risks. So PM 2.5, it's a small particle, not visible to the naked eye, that's typically comprised of smoke and other very tiny particulate matter. And that is going to be a big concern today as we have these increased winds. The wind will allow this stagnant, smoky, smoggy air mass to finally be pushed out of the area, but that's going to be replaced with wind-blown dust and ash. To protect yourself from these wind-blown dust and ash impacts to your respiratory system, we recommend that you stay indoors during the windiest periods. If you have to go outside, please use appropriate PPE, which would include masks and eye protection, as some of the particulate is abrasive enough that it could cause eye damage. If you are concerned about the air quality, we update it every hour on our air quality map, the fire and smoke map. that can be accessed at fire.airnow.gov. If you have any other concerns about smoke, dust, or ash, please reference the EPA Smoke Ready Toolkit to get a lot of fact sheets. That's great information for you, your community, your children, your pets, and your livestock. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. I am Deputy Fire Chief Al Yanagisawa, Unified Incident Commander. Our hearts go out to all of those who have been affected, who have lost their homes from this devastating fire. Currently have 2,475 personnel assigned to this incident, working tirelessly to protect lives, property, and the environment. Our damage inspection teams have done an amazing job. They're at 98% complete. Residents can access the maps showing the latest damage assessments at recovery.lecounty.gov. We utilize state-of-the-art technology along with boots on the ground to make these and update these maps. They are updated real time. Residents can view these at that website, the status of their homes, details with pictures. We owe this to the residents who have been affected by this fire. So a powerful, damaging Santa Ana windstorm is predicted to begin today at noon, lasting through tomorrow. And we want to reassure you that the Los Angeles County region is prepared for this particularly dangerous situation. We understand the challenges that residents face, especially with the potential of public safety power shutoffs during this difficult time. These measures are really necessary, though, to prevent additional wildfires. We know that this is an added burden, but it is critical for the safety of our community, for the entire community. Just like they mentioned, ready, set, go. First responders are also ready, set, but we're not going to go. We're going to go to the firefight. Firefighters and law enforcement officers are ready. We are prepared for this next potential firefight, and we will go where necessary. For you, we would like you to download, if you haven't done so, the Wildland Action Plan for the Ready, Set, Go program at fire.lecounty.gov/RSG. This plan will provide you practical safety tips to help protect your loved ones. But I'll tell you what, one of the successes here, neighbors in the community of Altadena, they took care of their neighbors. So as you prepare, talk to your neighbors. If they have special needs, help them with their go bags. Wake them up if it's time to evacuate. Take them with you. We are a strong, caring, and resilient LA County. Today, we are also focusing on reentry or repopulation. It is our top priority to ensure everyone's safety, though, as we go through that process. Please continue to follow our evacuation orders, warnings, as well as road closures and fire conditions. Crews are working tirelessly on the ground, addressing all of the hazards. For those that are impacted by the Eaton Fire, please go to recovery.lecounty.gov. This website does provide it is a one-stop shop for all of your disaster assistance needs. On behalf of all of Unified Command, we stand with you during this incredibly challenging time. Thank you. Stay safe.
Good morning. My name is Robert Garcia. I'm the fire chief for the Angeles National Forest, and I wanted to be here today with our partners just to express first my deepest appreciation for all the Unified Command partners that have been working for us, with us through this really tragic event. We have some work in front of us still, but the work that has been accomplished has been tremendous on behalf of all the citizens and partners here in the greater Los Angeles area. And as they work through that challenge, they continue to work with our partners with the National Weather Service to continue to look at the threats from the Eaton Fire. But as we face the threats in the particularly dangerous situation over the next couple days, they've also helped us in preparation for what we are possibly going to face in the next couple days as a result of this event. The agency partners throughout the greater Los Angeles area, including the Angeles National Forest, CAL FIRE, Los Angeles County Fire Department, Los Angeles City Department, Fire Department, All of our foothill fire chiefs, Chief Augustine in Pasadena, have been in constant contact in preparation for the next 48 to 72 hours with this particularly dangerous weather situation that we're going to face. There is extensive preparation that's been underway as resources become available and have been positioned to deal with any additional events that we should have over the next couple days. There's a large mobilization center that's been prepared for the Southern California area over the last few days, and there are a high amount of resources that are pre-positioned for us here in Southern California from throughout the state of California and from throughout multiple western states. That mobilization center is jointly established and managed by the CAL FIRE and the U.S. Forest Service just off of the Inland Empire, Los Angeles County boundary. The California Incident Management Team 5, as they wrap up their work here and put us in a really good position to face this weather event, stands ready to assist the local area, the U.S. Forest Service and our partners, should we have another large emerging event. There's extensive preparation with aircraft that has been accessed off of the other incidents over the last few days that is stand ready in position, and we hope that we can use that aircraft should we have an incident. But as already mentioned, we're going to face some pretty challenging airspace in terms of firefighting airspace in operations. The local area is in constant contact and in constant preparations. That's what you've heard the theme all morning. As this weather event looms in the next 48 hours for all of us to face. And so I think the important message here, the takeaway is that although we've been dealing with multiple Santa Ana winds events, several of them of particular concern, particularly dangerous situation, this one is not much different, although you've heard the data points in terms of how it differs in relative humidity and thresholds for wind. The reality is this is a particularly dangerous situation. If you live in a wildland fire or urban interface area, we all need to prepare. If you do not, but you have family members, friends, loved ones that live in those areas, please check in with them and ensure that they are preparing and that we're not becoming complacent as we face this these weather conditions over the last 30 days. So on behalf of the United States Forest Service, again, I want to say thank you to all of our partners that have been working tirelessly since January 7th and well before that in the previous weather events, and thank them for their work and thank them for being with us here in Southern California over the next few days. Thank you.
Before we go into the question and answer period, I just want to go back and touch again on signing up for the emergency alerts. The opt-in program is the alert.lacounty.gov, where people can go in and sign up to receive text messages, emails, phone calls on their landlines. It's extremely important. Only about 20% of the residents of Los Angeles County have opted into that program. We need to increase that, so please go to the website and get yourself signed up. The second thing is the importance of following the evacuation warnings and orders. If people do not follow those, the firefighters have to transition from firefighting to life-saving. So it's very important that you follow these evacuation warnings and orders. With that, we'll open it up for questions, and we do have a wireless mic out there.
Oh, sorry. Morning.
Morning.
Can we get a better idea just in terms of the planning, pre-positioning, and the preparation ahead of this wind event starting today when it comes solely to the San Gabriel Valley?
Sure. I'm sure Deputy Chief Yamanasawa and Chief Garcia will both address that together.
Okay, yeah, the question was about pre-positioning of resources, and this is pretty extensive across all levels of government. So I'm going to ask Chief Yamanasawa also to talk about LA County preparations, and I've touched on a little bit about the larger geographic area preparation. So jointly, CAL FIRE and the U.S. Forest Service have established a mobilization center where resources that have come in from outside the area throughout the state and throughout the western United States, there's resources there from multiple states that have been pre-positioned in preparation not only for this incident should they need additional resources, but any new incidents. And then locally, our local jurisdictions have also worked to pre-position resources for initial attack. And so for the United States Forest Service here on the Angeles National Forest, we have multiple strike teams of engines, hand crews, bulldozers, additional aircraft sitting in position with our local resources for initial attack and surge capacity. The one additional preparation that I was remiss in saying earlier was that the United States Forest Service, through our office on the Angeles National Forest, has closed the entire national forest several days ago, and we've extended that closure through this wind event. So the entire Angeles National Forest is closed to any type of recreation activity. So please stay out of the national forest while we're in this weather event. And now I'm going to turn over to my partner, Los Angeles County Fire.
So I'll start at the incident. The incident does have a plan for releasing resources for initial attack within the area. If needed, we're ready to go. The County of Los Angeles Fire Department also has staged strike teams throughout the LA County areas, identified through careful science and movement and past historical incidents. Within the department, we work with CAL FIRE and their mobilization center and the Forest Service in partnership to create a safety net throughout this region should this particular dangerous situation result in another start.
Hey, good morning, John Baird, KNX. I just want to ask you, over the last 4 days, you've made a lot of progress on the containment lines. You've had a lot of help from all these outside agencies. Did you release any resources ahead of this wind event?
Who wants to answer that?
So for this incident itself, we right-size the incident every day. It's based on the need of the incident and also the threat of other incidents throughout the area. The resources that are released, though, they go back into the regional assessment and mobilization centers and are available for staging and also for within the county and throughout the state.
Yeah, and as they previously mentioned, Dustin Mueller, Incident Commander, Unified Incident Commander, as they previously mentioned, those resources didn't go far. They went to that center that they were talking about to provide surge capacity for Southern California. So we brought in resources even from the state of, from all the western states, as Chief Garcia stated, and also through international agreement in Canada, and they're going to those centers as well. So as we feel comfortable, as the fire behavior analyst said, with our control lines here, we're releasing those to that staging center to prepare for this next event. So yes, resources are dwindling on this incident to prepare for the next.
Good morning, Mario Ramirez with KTTV Fox 11. You all had mentioned an 8-hour window where we were supposed to see really strong winds. Is aircraft being suspended only during that 8 hours? And can you talk a little bit more about what's used to determine whether or not aircraft will be used?
Chief Garcia will answer that.
Yeah, so all of our partners up here have aircraft for what we call initial attack new fires. And these bases are spread out throughout really Southern California for fixed wing, and then throughout the LA region for rotor aircraft. And so they will be looking minute by minute. So there's not a preemptive stand down, if you will, or stand down of the aircraft. However, the pilots and our air crews will constantly be looking at the weather from where they are to depart their base and to where they're going. And so, as an example, the closest air tanker base for fire retardant for fixed wing is out in Lancaster at the Fox Field Airport. And so they'll be looking at not only their takeoff, but also where they're headed to, and potential mountain wave conditions in transit to a new incident should it occur. And the same thing will be happening with the air crews. So there may be opportunities to fly aircraft throughout that event, depending on where the need is.
Anybody else? Okay, if anybody needs spellings of any of the names, I'll come out and give them for you. And we also have a Spanish speaker available for interviews as well. So thank you very much for your time today, and please get the message out for us. Thank you.